Hi. How you doing? What's going on? Oh, Mikey 555. What's that all about? Mikey, what's up, buddy? Hi. Uh yeah. Well, sorry. I have to do this, but I can only do this after the live starts. Otherwise, that's why I have to like turn it on, do this, and blah blah blah. Anyway, how you doing? Welcome to the live. A lot of you guys are live. Hector's here, and you're still not visible, dude. Could you please click that link? My God, it's just like, oh, Hector, click the link. Click it. Click the Ecamm link. Oh, Kirsten. The universe reminded you. Anyway, I'm gonna ignore the live people for just a minute. Hello, replay people. How are you? Welcome to the replay. My name is Bobby. I am the host of this group, The Spiritual Artist, and you are in the replay, unless you're not. And, maybe you're watching live, and then later you're in the replay again, and now I'm talking to you, even though you watched it before. That would have been kind of weird. I don't know what that means. Anyway, so if you're in the replay, let me know that you're here. Put hashtag replay. I'm like thinking of things and I'm reading Mikey's comment at the same time, and I'm trying to talk and none of it worked. Anyway, replay people, whatever. You're here, you're not, whatever. Hi, live people. Welcome to the show. And I am late, yes. So who we got? Mikey's here, Richard's here, Hector's here. Hector is here. I escaped the warehouse. That's cool. Nice to not see you. It's Hector, this is what I see, dude. I see that. Oh, it does say your name. Oh, you must have clicked the thing because it says your name. Oh, you know what? Sometimes the first comment people do, sometimes the picture doesn't show up. Anyway, I see your name. That's fine. So you did it. Ray is here. Kirsten is here. And Mikey, 5552 plus 0 minus 2 minus 1 equals 5? Okay, I don't know what that means. Anyway, hi guys, how are you? So yeah, we can. Oh, it's already way past 2 minutes. Let's get rid of this. Let's just get rid of that. All right, I'm apparently. Yeah, it's going to be a calamity day again. Let's go. I love the calamities. They're kind of fun. So let's just go. If you're here, you can comment the whole time I'm going, and I'll ignore them, and then I'll read them later. And if you're in the replay, you can just skip to this point right now because this is where I'm going to start. That doesn't help you at all if you watched all of this. So let's go. We must trust. We must trust that this crazy man on your screen knows what the hell he's doing and can pull off this live show today. it's already off to an amazing start. We must trust. Yesterday, is Barbara here? Yesterday we were talking about light work and shadow work, and I was talking about how sometimes you have a trauma in your life, and that trauma creates those shadows, creates those things. I was trying to explain that like the trauma is an object maybe that is blocking the light. You know, it's not necessarily a shadow, but what is a shadow? It's just the lack of light. The light can't penetrate a thing, right? So that's the trauma, or the stressor, or the whatever. Barbara is here. Hi. And then Barbara wrote a cool comment that said, I forgot the whole thing, but it was about, it was good. And it was just basically about how this trauma happens and we forget how to trust ourselves. We lose that trust in ourselves and our own innate ability, our own innate connection to source and spirit to do things. Why are they making so much noise right above my head? Right? And we lose that trust to do those things. That we can do those things ourselves. And I liked that. I like that because what happens is the trauma leads to a lack of trust. That lack of trust is just a manifestation of that disconnection from source energy, or that, as Abraham says, that pinching off, because you actually can't ever disconnect from it. And then, as a result of that, we just start banging around in 3D, start trying to do everything ourselves. You know, I'm in this meat suit, and it's just me, and that's all there is, and nothing else exists, and there's nothing bigger, and I have to figure this out all by myself. And that's what it feels like. And so any time that trauma gets activated again, That's why the shadow work is important, because we don't need to fix the thing that happened when we were 6 years old, but when that thing happened, when that trauma happened, we created an emotional response to it. We created a program in our mind, in our subconscious, to cope with it, and now anything else in the world can happen that activates that program, that reminds us of that trauma. And so by doing that shadow work, we can pull that crap out, we can look at it, we can shine some light on it, throw it in the garbage, and now let the light shine through. And that will help us to reinvigorate that trust. That trust is always there. We have it. We just sometimes forget to tap into it. And so there are actually 3 things. I was thinking about this. I was like, what are my 3 things going to be today? And I didn't want to like rehash the light work and energy work and stuff like that. But I was thinking that there really are 3 things that we can have trust in. So I was thinking about this, and we might argue semantics on the first 2, that they're the same thing, but so maybe they are the same thing. So if you don't like them as 2 separate things, think of them as 2 variations of the same thing. So here they are, right? Number 1, the things that we can have trust in when we remember to. Number 1 is the universe, the entire universe. The universe has your back. The universe is going to slide in there and support you. The universe is going to just bring everything you need to you. Anything you want, you can be, do, have, right? We know all these phrases. It's unlimited creative power. We can remember to tap into it. And the reason that when you hear what number 2 is, the reason I kind of separated them as 2 different things is because I was thinking of maybe 2 different trusts. And when I say the universe and trust in the universe, I am thinking of my ability to tap into the universal forces and have at my disposal the power of everything. Everything. All spiritual beings, all planets, all everything, whatever the heck the universe is, maybe it's even a multiverse of universes, all of it is in me, in this body, except sometimes I feel like I'm just the body, and I need to trust that I'm tapped into, I'm connected to, and I have those resources, and they're flowing to me all the time. And when I can remember that, I can start to feel it and trust it again. And that's the universe. We need to remember that there's this thing that is way bigger than us, and we are in it. We are a part of it, and we have all of it at our disposal at all times. Just sometimes it doesn't feel like that. So that's number 1. Number 2, you might say, is the same exact thing, except I think of it a little bit differently. Number 2 is your higher self, your inner being. And the reason I separated them is because I'm thinking of it in a different way. I'm trusting it for a different reason. To me, the higher self, the inner being, to me, it's David, right? If you're new to the group and you don't know this story, if you look at the group picture, it's a picture of me superimposed within the silhouette of the David statue, Michelangelo's David. David is the name I have given to my higher self, my inner being, because I liked that name and I liked that statue. And when I was thinking of it, I was like, it's David. And that's just what it is, right? So to me, the higher self, the inner being, your soul, your spirit, that's the part that's your guide. That's the part that knows what the next step is, even if me, Bobby, in 3D land doesn't. But there's a part of me that does. And I can trust that, well, there's a part of me that does, and if it's a part of me, then it's me. And I trust me, so I can trust David. You can trust your inner guide, your higher self, your spirit, your soul, whatever word you like for it. I don't really care. That's the part. It's that spiritual being. We are spiritual beings having human experiences. But when we have that trauma response, we forget that. And we feel like physical beings having physical experiences physically in physical land, and everything's physical, and there is no spirit, and there is no higher self, there is no source, there is no nothing other than me in this meat suit going, fuck. Right? That's what it feels like. Sometimes it can feel really small, but when you remember to trust in your higher self, you can remember that it's really much, much bigger. So you might say the universe, higher self, same thing. Fine with that, but I was thinking of the universe as all universal forces has your back, and your inner spirit has your path laid out for you. So trust that you have all the power and you have the path. Maybe it's those 2 words. And the third one is your physical self. We need to trust ourselves. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. The human part is not to be discounted. The human part is what I think the whole game is about. Because without the human part, there's no game. We're just in 3D land going like, look at me, I've been this forever and ever and ever, and it's boring, right? But the 3D part is what makes this a fun game. It's what makes it exciting because we don't know. We don't have all the answers at our conscious disposal, even if we have them at our subconscious disposal. And sometimes we feel lost and we feel adrift, but we're not. We can trust that. We can trust that we are not. We can trust that I may feel like a weak little nothing spiritual meat suit, but I'm not. Even when I am thinking of me as just this part of me, I'm still freaking amazing. I'm awesome. I've been doing this for decades now, and I've kicked everything's ass. Nothing's gotten me, right? Nothing's gotten you. We need to trust the perspective that we have, because in this meat suit, in this physical human experience we're having, we have our own unique perspective of the entire universe. And we need to trust that that perspective is valid, is worthy of something. Otherwise, why would we be doing it? You know, do you think that there's a part of the universe that was like, oh, I'm going to make myself all of these creatures and I'm going to look back upon myself because I'm amazing and they're all going to be valid perspectives except for that guy. That one's lame. I don't even know why I brought that guy to the party. No, they're all valid. Yours is valid, mine's valid. And even though from my perspective, I can't see everything, I don't know what my next step is, I can trust it. And I also trust that some things will help me shift my perspective so that now I can see more. I can see around that corner. I can see further down that road. These are the things. So trust that the universe has your back. Trust that your higher self knows the path. And trust that your physical self is worthy and amazing and has got this. Those are the 3 things for today. Trust that when I remember to breathe, I can breathe and I'll feel better. So let's see who we got. I see a Facebook user. Uh-oh. All right, so Hector is here. I see Ray. I see Kirsten. I see all these. See me now? Yes, I do. Hector Barber is here. And then I see Facebook user. Who is that? It might be... See me now. Barbara is here. It's Crystal. Crystal, I thought you clicked the thing. I've seen you before. Why are you Facebook user again? And also Irene. Irene. Okay, so let's see. Crystal says, something I'll never get behind is abuse for growth. Shaking my head. I just can't do it. Abuse for growth. I'm not 100% sure what you mean. Do you mean abusing yourself? My wife asked me to go get her gas in her car, and I did, and it's raining, and I walked into a tree, and the water went all over my head, and now my hair is doing this thing, and I can't. Anyway, so I just looked down and noticed that. So sorry if you had to look at that the whole time. Anyway, Crystal. Yeah, something I'll never get behind is abuse for growth. Do you mean like you were abused and you can grow from the abuse? Like, oh, it was a horrible experience, but I can grow from it? Is that what you're talking about? Well, I think you can grow from anything, but I will agree with you if that's what you're talking about, then I'm not really 100% sure what you mean. So here's what I think you mean, and here's the part that I'll agree with and validate for you, is that I don't think we need to go through abuse in order to grow. I don't think that we need to have a really crappy experience in life in order to come out some other end. I think that things can just go up and up steadily. I do think, however, that when you have terrible experiences, that it creates more of a contrast to what you want, so that when you are in a better place, the contrast is so much greater that maybe you appreciate it more. And that's like the only silver cloud, the only silver lining to that dark cloud that I can think of. So, to me, I'd rather just have a great life all straight through. I don't need, 20 years of crap so that I can finally break out of it and be happy. Why not just be happy the whole time? So I'll agree with you on that. I don't know that, I wouldn't say that abuse is necessary. And you might write another comment saying, no, that's not what I'm talking about at all. But that's what I'm talking about now. So there you go. And Irene gives me little stars. So thank you, Irene. I saw that it was you here. I'm just going to follow along here so that I can see more Facebook users. Barbara. This was Barbara's idea. Barbara, thank you. Yes. Whew. We are a tiny version of the universe. We are the universe. Yeah, I don't know how to articulate this, but sometimes I look out at like the stars and I think of the stars and stuff as like atoms, that there's like some world inside of my physical body that sees all the atoms and cells of my body as the universe. Like I am a physical manifestation of the entire universe truncated into this body within the bigger, broader universe. It's like, I don't, if you got that, cool. If you didn't, I don't know. But yeah, I think that we are the entire universe right here. Mikey says, remember to remember. I forget. I forget things halfway through my lives. We are a work in progress. Yeah, we are, dude. Definitely. Hector, why won't that thing? Sometimes I have to put the mouse over your picture and then click, except sometimes there's got to be this icon that lights up on my screen. You can't see it. And sometimes when I'm moving the mouse around, the screen wants to scroll, so the icons disappear and I can't land on one and click it. Anyway, Hector says, this is pretty cool. Pretty cool? Thank you. I'm actually working with a friend of mine tapping into subconscious. He's a hypnotist. That's neat. I wonder what would happen if I went down. Nothing. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I was just talking to Laura, my wife, about the hypnotist. We were talking about hypnotists at comedy night when we were in college. It was really, really interesting. I've never seen a hypnotist, personally, been hypnotized or anything like that. I've always wanted to. I was always curious because I'm one of those guys who was like, you can't hypnotize me. And then next thing you know, I'll be walking around like a chicken. But I don't know. I think it would be really interesting. But I think now at this point in my life, I would be so much more open-minded to it that I would just be like, yeah, man, let's get in there and see what we can find. I'm very, very interested in that stuff. So, Hector, I'd be interested to learn more about what you're doing there. Richard's here. What's up, buddy? How are you? I turned life into a game because games are fun to play. I like that. Life is a... Richard Beatty. Life is a game. Cool beans. Sorry. All right. If I don't write it down, I forget. Like the thing I said was cool before, I've already forgotten what it was. Problems are baddies. Money is gold tokens. I like this. Experiences are bonuses. Skills are level ups. Oh, damn it. And big problems are end of level baddies. That's cool. Like the big boss, right? That's neat, buddy. That's a really interesting way to think about it. Mikey agrees. And all of us are players. Yep. Yes, and we can either be players or get played. Interesting. And hey, my brother... There we go. My brother's here. Hi. One with an experience is not at the mercy of one with an opinion. Well, that's cool. That's very interesting. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of people's opinions anyway, so it doesn't really matter to me. That's cool. Thank you. Kirsten, all great things. All great things. I have been delighted in the solutions the universe has been providing as I have been letting go and just holding on to the ride. I am intentionally doing basically the opposite of what I've always done, trying to control. And guess what? Life is changing. Isn't that interesting, right? So you're trusting the universe. You've been letting go, right? My friend Landon says, let go and let God. If you're religious or if that word doesn't, trigger you in some way, let go and let God. I give up. Surrender, all of these things, right? I did a live months ago about surrender, how I didn't like that word because it felt like I was pointless in the game, but I don't really feel that way anymore. Now I think of it more as trust. I trust that there's something bigger helping me along. And man, it's like when you're not trusting. Oh, here's what I skipped this part. Trust. What is trust? right? How do you know if you're trusting? I had this in my spiel and I skipped right over it. How do you know if you're trusting? Here's a clue. You know you're trusting when your main priority and focus of what you're thinking about has to do with what you want and why you want it. If you're finding yourself trying to figure out how it's going to happen or when it's going to happen, you are not trusting. That's it. Because you, my friends, can't control how things happen or when things happen or when that guy's going to do that thing or when that thing's going to arrive in the mail. It doesn't matter. You have no control over any of those things. You can control yourself. Will I go do my energy work today? Will I go do the client project? Will I work on this art project? Will I keep my word and say and go do the thing that I said I would do? Whatever it is, you can control your own actions, but you can't control other people's actions. You can't control events in the world. You can't control any of that stuff. But you can control thinking about what you want and why you want it compared to how it's going to happen and when it's going to happen. So that's how you know if you're trusting. Thank you, Kirsten. Kirsten is trusting. Marsha, my life is, I trust in spirit and the path the universe has laid out for me. When you stop trusting and start doubting, that is when life gets out of sync. If you become aware of all the signs spirit and the universe present to you in life and follow through, you prosper. Yeah, that's one of the reasons that I like playing with numbers so much in this group. Everything like my lives start at 6:33, not 6:30 even. You know why? Because here's a funny story. Because of my 433 thing. I love that number. It reminds me of my mother, and it was our phone number as a kid, 433-6050. And so, everything now revolves around 3-3 for me. I have made it part of my business, and I'm making it part of the game, as Richard said. And I was talking to my friend Tony today, and he and I grew up next door to each other. I lived in 29 April Lane, and he reminded me, and I forgot this. He lived in the house next door, and his address was 33 April Lane. And I was like, what? I didn't know that. I didn't remember that. And I was like, so here, I thought that this number 33 harkened back to my phone number. And at the same exact time, my best friend since childhood, since we were 2 years old, lived in house number 33, right next door to my house. So I was like, that's weird. And like, why am I learning this decades later and figuring this out? It's kind of strange. So Rupert's here. What's up, buddy? The world is a stage. Yes, that's Shakespeare. The world is a stage, and the world is a game, and the world is a play, and the life is a play. All of it. All of it, man. You know, if you like life as a game, then you can play it somewhat the way, or make up your own rules, the way that Richard laid out. Or we could say that life is a play or a movie, right? And we're in the theater, and we are the director and the actor and the writer and the audience. We're all of it. And all of these things are great metaphors to help figure out what your life is. You can design and create your life using these. That's why I say art is a metaphor for life. We can create the thing the way that we want it to be. Marcia, did I read this? No. Marcia says, life is absolutely a game. All right, it's a game, Marcia said. And we are all the players who decide with the help of the universe and spirit our outcome. I like that. Thank you. And Hector says, trusting is the same thing as the chair you sat on without thinking it would break on you. That's cool, right? You sit down in the chair and you don't think it's going to break on you. I like that, dude. I like that. You know, there are so many things that we trust in without even realizing, you know? Even the other day when I did this live and I just decided to trust that Ecamm wasn't going to crash on me. But I intended that it wouldn't, but I told myself ahead of time, you know what? If it does, it's okay, because I'm in a Ecamm Live Facebook group for people who use Ecamm Live. And there was this big discussion going on about how it's crashing. I don't know if you remember, but last week it would crash every 5 or 6 minutes in the live. I'd have to start a new live, and there were a couple days where I did 3 or 4 lives, and I had to string them together. And it was the first day it was kind of fun. Then it was getting annoying, but I realized, you know what, we're kind of making a game out of it. You guys are all creative, and so I told them in that other group, I'm gonna test it in my group again because everybody in my group is in on it, and I'm kind of making a game out of it. So it's like if the thing crashes, we're all playing who can find Bobby's next live. And they were all like, that's really cool. And I was like, that is really cool. I have a cool group. They don't. Their groups were lame. Their groups were getting pissed off. And I was like, yeah, you guys should be in my group. And this group's cool. All the cool people are in it. So yeah, trusting is like that you sat on the chair and it would not break. I like that. Thank you. Life is a symphony. Yep, and we are the players. Trust in your wings. Birds do. I like that. Ray, you got the booby prize yesterday. You're not getting it again. No booby prize 2 days in a row. Teasing. This is up too high. Anyway, and I'm just getting silly. I wish I had wine. Maybe I'll get some. Anyway, guys, that's the last comment. So thank you very much for hanging out with me as usual. Once again, I always appreciate it. This is really like the big. I love this part of my day. It's like I look forward to doing the live every day. And I said this to my friend the other day. I was like, you know, I know that I'm doing the right thing because I keep doing it. I keep wanting to do it. I keep showing up to do it, and I don't want to stop. And even that time a couple months ago where I paused doing the daily fuels every day, that was lame. I didn't like it. I was feeling the urge to do it, but I felt like I needed to figure things out here. And then I was like, oh, I figured it out already. I should be doing that. So I came back, and here we are. Boobies coming. Boobies coming past. That's true. There should be 2 booby prizes a day, right? The first comment and the last comment, the 2 boobies. That's funny. And new rules. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna go because now I'm just getting silly, and you're all still here. Okay. So, guys, thanks so much for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I will see you tomorrow. Ray, you get the booby prize. So have a wonderful night. Still Ray. All right. Have a wonderful night, and I will see you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.